home city. Yes, you heard that correctly. Me, as an American, living in Serbia now. Actually, I have already been living here for a couple of months. I still got a lot of time here. So I am looking forward to creating this video to show you guys the best spots in Belgrade, because this is obviously not your typical touristy city, but there are so many things to do. This city is so bustling, non-stop action. I mean, you just see all the traffic that's behind me right now. So you know what? Let's get into this. Oh, also country number 25. Okay, I know this may sound like a crazy take, but I think as a New Yorker, I have the ability to make this claim. Belgrade reminds me so much of New York, like legitimately. Obviously not in terms of like industry or like the tourist sections or anything like that. I'm talking about how busy and non-stop the city is. Literally, it doesn't matter what time of day it is, whether it's 8 in the morning and everybody's commuting to work, or it's just after midnight, 2, 3 a.m. and the city's supposed to be dead. It's not. People are walking, going about their day, there are cars on the street, just non-stop activity, and it seems like everybody is always in a rush to get, which I actually love, because yeah, New York lifestyle like that. Okay, so here's Stari Grad. This is the quote-unquote old town. You're not going to find any old buildings, except how at the very end you have Kalemegdan. I would be lying if I did not say I try to avoid this place every single second I can, because this is where all the tourists go. I mean, all the tourists walk up and down. If you're watching this and you're coming to Belgrade, I assume that you are going to be coming through here many times. This is where you have a lot of the shopping, and you know, it's like a regular pedestrian area that you find in every single European city. This is where I go if I ever need to like buy a souvenir, like how I'm gonna get my family souvenirs before I go back home, because this is where, of course, like they'd be selling them for like the tourist side. You have souvenir stands that are lined up. There are a lot of restaurants here. Please try to find other restaurants, because the prices here are jacked up a lot and the food quality is like okay. You can go to a regular kafana literally anywhere else and get better food, better prices, and just get a better understanding of like a Serbian atmosphere. Kafana TRG. Do that. Go to that one. This is also where a lot of the main fashion stores here are located. The pedestrian area, I'll tell you, is long. Like walking from one end all the way to where Kalemegdan starts could be like a whole 15-minute walk. It's nice. I got to admit though, it's a nice setup with the Christmas tree, holiday lights, and the stands that are around here. Okay, so right here is Republic Square. You see, massive area for people to gather around right in Stari Grad. It is literally just one block over from where all the tourists walk through, and right here is the National Museum of Serbia. I was actually in here, and let me tell you, it's a great museum. It tells you about the history of humans here, literally from like prehistoric times and the first settlements in Serbia, and it kind of takes you on the timeline into today. Here, it has free admission on Sundays, so if you are here on a Sunday, literally go in even if you want to just explore it for like 15-20 minutes. But if you're not here on a Sunday, it's like €4 for an entry, so you should go and see it. You also have a bunch of other museums here, like you have the Ethnographics Museum too. Here is the Nikola Tesla Museum, literally just like 3 blocks from where I live. This is one of the most popular museums, if not the most popular, in all of Belgrade, and this is because Nikola Tesla from here. The airport here is also called Nikola Tesla Airport. Tickets are around 800 dinar, so about €7. Get here early, it gets packed. Okay, so now I'm walking through Dorćol. This is another residential area, but this one is a little bit closer to Stari Grad. It is very similar to Vračar with the apartments and the layout, especially with the streets. I love how Dorćol has a lot of trees that are just lined up, never giving you like a canopy layer, but it's nice how it's incorporated into here. It is different from Vračar in the sense that it is a little less crowded. You know, there's not so much things like passing through it. Out in Vračar, the streets, a lot of them are quaint, cozy. You still have a lot of major streets and overall traffic passing through it everywhere because it's the city center. I mean, Dorćol, you still get some of that, like this street that's behind me, but you have other ones that are a little calmer. And here, yeah, definitely walk through it, especially because it's right near Stari Grad, which I assume you're going to meet Stari Grad anyway. This is a very easy point to walk through. You want to see the residential life here. Don't get me wrong though, Dorćol is always on the move and extremely busy with people going through, cars up and down, no matter the time of day. Okay, so now I am in Vračar. This is the area, the city that I am living in, and this is definitely my favorite part because it is a nice combination of non-stop active city life. Being right in the center of Vračar is literally what is technically the city center, and just being able to have it as an access point to get everywhere else in the city. This street that I am living on right now, I actually think it's the best residential street in all of Belgrade. Am I a little biased? Probably, but just the way that the trees are lined up. Vračar has great apartments. This is where a lot of families live because the apartments are not only because it's in the middle of everything, but the apartments, they're more than just studios. A lot of them have 3, even 4 bedrooms. One thing I love about here is that the streets themselves are rather small, so they're really only streets for one car, you know, they're one lane. And here the buildings are close together. In Vračar, King Alexander Boulevard is definitely the street that has the most activities because 3 lanes on both sides. And this is where you just have everybody walking through, commuting to work, just going about their day. And of course the stores and just all the public transportation going through it. But it's when you go towards the side streets is when things start to get a little quieter in Vračar. Vračar also has a lot of embassies. Spanish embassy right behind me. So right behind me is the famous bombed buildings that you see. You see them right here going all across and even over there. I would get closer, but I don't know if I really feel comfortable recording in front of it, especially because there's always police presence who are kind of guarding that area. And these buildings were bombed, during the NATO raids. And think, why does Serbia keep them like this? Why do they not repair them, make them new structures? Well, it plays into the whole thing of memory politics. And the military poster, hands down the largest military advertisement in terms of sheer size that I have seen anywhere in the world of anywhere I have traveled to. When walking, you really notice the just big block of Yugoslav type buildings, you know, the regular stereotypical socialist type buildings that like the ones that you see that are right behind me, maybe like 10 stories tall. A lot of apartments are in here. I actually live in a building that looks very similar to this. Okay, so here I am at the Belgrade Waterfront, and this is one of my favorite places in Belgrade to walk around, to just go through. If it's not my favorite place, like being very number 1 on my list, this is such a high-end development that has been constructed, currently being constructed, literally costing billions upon billions of dollars, and it is all being financed by Eagle Hills' Mohammed Alabar. Alabar actually owned the Burj Khalifa. You can see behind me how some buildings right now currently being constructed. These are all going to be luxury homes, luxury condos, and they're really trying to make it such a high-end area. And you know, there are some people that are thinking like, oh, maybe this can become like the Dubai of the Balkans. It is extremely controversial because a lot of these apartments, to outright buy them, are going to be costing anywhere between like 300,000 euros to 3 million plus euros. And okay, if you were in Paris or London, like that would be like, okay, that definitely makes sense. But where are you going to get that in Belgrade to be able to necessarily to fill all these apartments? There's a lot of concern that a lot of the luxury apartments are just going to be vacant, that they're not going to be able to sell them. Also, it completely messes with how things look in Belgrade because a lot of things are, I don't want to say rustic, but you have like the regular Yugoslav architecture, like the one that's over there, and then all of a sudden contrasting it with these massive glass buildings. Oh, and here, this huge building that you can see from literally anywhere in Belgrade. This is the St. Regis Hotel and is also a conference center. Look at this, what is it, 30 plus stories high? And then we're gonna go down there and there is a huge mall. So there have been a lot of protests. Some people will say there might be like outright corruption, and some people think that there may be a lot of problems that come associated with this project. But nonetheless, I mean, the infrastructure that is being put in place here, it is unbelievable. Okay, so we are at Kalemegdan now, and this is the massive park that is alongside the water that has the Belgrade Fortress in it, and this is a must-stop destination. It is incredible, and it is expansive, everything about, because people gather here, not just tourists coming to visit Belgrade Fortress, but also locals just walking through, enjoying their time, walking the dog, and it's just a great place to come stay and relax. You also get some incredible views of Belgrade. You get views of New Belgrade and just the Sava and Danube River from here. It's hard to beat. So just some clarification, Kalemegdan is the whole park area, like this whole complex that we're in, while the actual fortress itself, which you can kind of see there, but we'll go in there, that is called just Belgrade Fortress. You'll most likely walk in through the entrance by Stari Grad. You will see literally like a million souvenir stands that are lined up, but walk past it and then you get into the openness of the park and the castle. I also took an incredible tour of Kalemegdan and what's beneath it. Places that you cannot get to just walking around. You have to go on specifically on the tour. I have that in my video on the museums of Belgrade, so make sure you see the pictures and clips that I got from there. Now just walking through the walls of the castle. Make sure you come to the other side of Kalemegdan too, because it's just this big giant open park that so many less people go and visit. It's so relaxing, and from here, because we are lower and the fortress is on the high ground, you look up and you can really just see how big the fortress is and how expansive it is. Like here, okay, you have a road, but you even see some of the walls of the old fortress too, so you really get advantage of, wow, the Belgrade Fortress at Kalemegdan, big. Okay, so here is St.Sava Church, probably the most impressive building in all of Serbia. So it is the largest Orthodox church in the Balkan region. It's the largest church overall in Serbia. The vast majority of Serbia is Eastern Orthodox. Just the pristine white, the multi-green domes, and then inside, oh my god, it blows you away. Literally blows you away with the mosaics everywhere on the roofs. It just makes you think, how in the world did somebody actually paint this? That it is so detailed, especially that it's like on the roof. Like, were they lying and like dangled by the ceiling? Like, I don't even know. It is unbelievable. I do not frequently walk past the St.Sava Church on my day-to-day commute because it is on the opposite side of Vračar going towards the Savamala area where I have classes. But here, though, it is only literally a 15-minute walk from where I live, so I frequently come around here just to enjoy this atmosphere. It's a nice little park as well. So yeah, this is one of the places that if you're in Belgrade, even just for one day, you have to make it here. It costs over 200 million euros to build this, and its services can seat over 10,000. This is the most impressive church I have been in anywhere in the world. It is breathtaking when you're here. Pictures don't even do it justice. Once you're here, you're just like, oh my god. And yeah, not just the most stunning church that I have ever been in, it's the most stunning building in all of Serbia. Here's Parliament Building, and it's actually one of my favorite buildings in all of Belgrade. This was also the Parliament of Yugoslavia. So Belgrade was the capital of Yugoslavia. Once Yugoslavia fell, this was the parliament for the country Serbia and Montenegro. But then when Montenegro left, became their own independent state, it became this. Their government is so beyond fascinating, and they have President Aleksandar Vučić, and there is so much that you could dive into with their government, their relations, their close ties with Russia, but also China coming in, bringing massive influence, but also them trying to still be very friendly with the European Union, immense hatred towards NATO, and so much more. This isn't going to be a political video, so no need to get into their politics, but it's crazy. Look up what happened here in the 90s. Incredibly unfortunate. It impacts how their government operates today in so many different ways, but yeah. What a great structure this is. Okay, so this is Kralja Milana Street, and this is the street that will take you from Slavia Square to the pedestrian area that has all of the touristy things where all the tourists go, but this is one of the main streets that I frequently walk down a lot just as I'm going about my day-to-day. You have a lot of stores lined up. This is where you have some nice shopping, and it's very active because it's the major street, not just people driving, but people walking, commuting to work, going about their day-to-day life. One thing you will notice as you are walking literally like every single street, the Serbian flags that are flown. So much pride in their country. In fact, one right there, but you will see how they are just lined up literally like every 20 feet throughout all the streets. Immense nationalism here. Okay, I'll show you this. For some reason, this is always just my favorite view. I don't know how much the camera can actually pick it up, but you just look off into distance because we're a little bit on the hill. It's almost like a tunnel vision. Look at how you can see St.Sava just in the distance over everything. The public transportation here is a mix between it being very good and inefficient. So right behind me, you have the trams. The trams I find are awful. They're actually never on time, and a lot of times they don't even show up. However, the public buses are great. I have never had an issue with those. However, even with the buses, they are constantly changing up routes, so I wouldn't even use Google Maps. I would use, oh, there's a public bus. I would use the Move It app. It's called Move It. Unfortunately, there is no metro system though. There are taxis everywhere, and Uber, Lyft, other rideshare apps, those don't exist here. There is Yandex, there is Pink Taxi, there is Nexus Taxi. There are a lot of different companies. They're all very similar. What you want to look for so you know you're not getting ripped off, the license plate, you see the TX at the end, which obviously stands for taxi. That's how you know it's reputable. Also, you're going to want to make sure beforehand if they accept credit card, because a lot of them don't, or sometimes the taxi drivers will be like, oh no, my credit card machine is broken once they get to the destination, because they want you to pay in cash. What's great about the buses is every station you go to, there is this little electronic board that says the bus number and specifically how much time until the next bus will come. The best hotel in Belgrade is arguably the Hilton right here. It's located in Slavia. Another incredible hotel you can stay at is Hotel Moscow. It is extremely upscale, and just the design of the building, you gotta love it. I'm at lovely Tasmajdan Park, and I frequently come here because it is literally like a 6-minute walk from where I'm currently living in my apartment, and I love it just how it's this big open space. So I take strolls through it. Sometimes I go and I sit on the bench and I relax. It is right in the middle of Vračar, and right at the end of the park you have the Church of St. Mark. It is such a great structure. You have it in the Byzantine architectural style. It was completed in 1940. Also, right next to it, you have a Russian Orthodox church, and really interesting enough, there has been a boom in both the Russian and Ukrainian population here since the start of the Russian-Ukrainian War. I really love the design of the Russian Orthodox Church. The white, the green, the blue, it pops out. Here is why you need to visit here if you are coming to Belgrade to visit, because of the history that is here. Okay, so this is maybe one of the most famous statues that is in all of Belgrade. So it is a little girl holding a teddy bear, and you see how it is written both in Serbian Cyrillic and as well as Latin English, saying we were just children, and it is to commemorate the children who lost their lives. I believe the number is 60 plus during the NATO bombings in 1999. So with the air raids by NATO, everybody in Belgrade who lived through the time has a story, whether they personally lost a loved one, someone they knew, or just overall, had to be in the city while bombs were coming down. I mean, some of the stories that you hear are powerful. Right behind me is the Serbian National Media Building, and you can see that, okay, a lot of it is still, is like the regular building, but look at this right here. Again, here's another example of a building that was bombed that they have not rebuilt for the purpose of being able to showcase to the world and kind of like engrave in everyone's memory, like, look what the West did to us. Oh, also, you should visit the Museum of Yugoslavia too. I went there and it's a great exhibit, really showing you the history and its impact of Yugoslavia on the present day. Oh, also, it's where Tito is buried. Tomb is right in the center, so yeah, definitely something to check. So now I am here in New Belgrade. This is on the opposite side of the Sava River, and this is where essentially the central business district is, where you have a lot of conference center, but just overall office presences. It is a lot more open, so you don't have buildings that are on top of each other. Look, you literally see like office building, Bank of China here, open space, another building, and then just like open space. You see how it's not more condensed. There's also a lot of student housing. This is where a lot of the students for the University of Belgrade live. If you're coming here for business, I expect that you will be in one of these office buildings here in New Belgrade. But if you are just here for leisure, I don't expect that you will be coming to New Belgrade. There isn't really that much to do, except the basketball arenas here. Some places that are nice to walk along the water, along the Danube, more as you get up towards Zemun. But if you have the time, walk across the bridge or take the bus here and just walk through here a little bit. It's nice. Also, everything here is a lot more modern because most of the buildings are made out of glass. The currency here is the Serbian dinar. They do not use the euro. The dinar is cool because all of the different bills have these cool designs. They are different colors, the greens, purples, the yellows. Okay, so here is Slavia Square. It is not a tourist attraction at all. It's just kind of like a center point of the city that I am always walking through. I love how you have the giant fountain here. You have the roundabout going all around it. And this is where the A1 bus from the airport will drop you off. Don't even think about taking a taxi, because if you don't have much luggage, like you just have a small carry-on and a backpack, literally take the A1 bus. It is only 400 dinar, so what, like €3.50? Drops you off right here, and then from there you can catch regular public transport. So yeah, Slavia is nice. And then right here, I'm gonna run a little bit, and you have the Belgrade sign. It is written in Cyrillic. So while I'm here, let me just tell you a little bit about Cyrillic in Latin. So you will find here, most things honestly are written in Latin, but you have the Cyrillic that is still used, the Cyrillic alphabet, for all government documents, anything government related. So it's an interesting differentiation, but still you walk around and see things that aren't government related, like even maybe some restaurant menus, they'll have it in Cyrillic. One of my favorite walks is the walk alongside the Danube and the Sava, because it is right alongside, and it is just so pleasant to be able to see just how expansive these waters are, be able to see across the river what's on the other side. You have in some areas, whether it be New Belgrade or you just have some openness with some trees and all that. You come up from Kalemegdan, you make your way more towards the city. Do this walk, especially if you're here on a Saturday, Sunday, and you got a bright sunny day. It is neither a Saturday or Sunday nor a bright sunny day right now, so it's rather empty. But on the weekends, you have families who are out here. You have people biking, running, and it is really nice. And if you do the walk in its entirety, you can be walking for a whole hour and a half. I promise it's more picturesque than what you're seeing. It's just dark and cloudy and cold right now. Very quick stop. Here is this massive statue that is down by the Savamala area. I'll be honest, I have no idea what it represents or what it is, so please comment it down below. But I literally walk by it like every day. Okay, very quick stop. I have to show this because this is where I have class every day. Not specifically right here, like a block more down. But this is the Savamala quarters, and honestly, this is my least favorite part of Belgrade. I mean, you can probably see why. Like, there's nothing around here. Okay, it's kind of close to the waterfront, which is nice, but yeah, that's about it. Okay, so final thoughts. I love Belgrade, legitimately love this city. I am so thankful that I decided to come here to study. Eastern Europe, the Balkans, and specifically Serbia is so underappreciated in so many ways, whether it be culturally or just in terms of tourism. You really have to make it here because people, at least coming from my perspective, Americans think of Europe as okay, Germany, Italy, Spain, the UK, like Central and Western Europe, and they completely forget about the gems that are here. Oh my God. I know that once I go home back to America, I will be coming back to Belgrade many, many times in the future. Belgrade, peace out. I'm seriously gonna miss you. These last many, many months have been incredible. But wait, I still got some time left to appreciate it. I'm not leaving now. So yeah, all right, end the video. See you guys. To be built back up again.